Welcome to Let's
Hello.
Be Frank. So today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are completely unprepared for this. We decided to pose a what if scenario and talk a little bit about that. So we might end up just talking about one. If we have time, maybe we'll bring up another one. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe we'll zip through quite a few.
Maybe. Okay, so I'll start. So my what if is what if there were no borders and no restrictions to where we could travel and for how long, and working in other countries and living in other countries, and what if we could just freely roam the world? What would it mean kind of for everything? Who would be in control of laws and how, like I'm just trying to think of the
There's a little experiment like that going on at the moment. They call it Europe.
Well, it works in the Schengen countries. I mean, they're borderless. I mean, you can move freely within the Schengen countries, and I think you can work as well if you have a Schengen passport.
I think there are a lot of rules.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's completely as free as you describe in your what if.
My scenario.
But I think one of the things that we've seen with the European Union, which is the closest example I can think of like that, is, well, on some level it adds a hell of a lot of costs. Because there's a parliament, there's a whole bunch of bureaucrats sitting there doing very little, which somebody must pay for.
Yeah.
So I think that there are lots of benefits to that. But in terms of being able to freely travel and freely associate and freely, I don't know, I think we tend to think of it as positives.
Yeah.
Well, what if I want to go and, I don't know, contribute to another economy?
Yeah.
Which essentially is a positive thing.
Yeah. Or looking at the high unemployment rate in certain countries, could those people not find employment elsewhere?
Yes, which is why half of Zimbabwe and Mozambique are currently here.
Yeah.
Because there's no employment in their countries. And they come here whether it's legal or illegal. Certainly from my perspective, what I find is if people travel to a different country, they tend to be hard workers.
Yeah.
They generally try to stick to adhere to the laws.
Yeah.
Which I know a lot of people will disagree with given our current situation or state here. But I just think of the time that I spent abroad, working in different countries. You make sure that you do your job.
Yeah.
Which is why it's very common that you hear that, for example, a certain nationality is highly regarded as hard workers, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Simply because they know that they can't afford not to do their job very well, because you don't have the support
of the
infrastructure.
Yeah.
Well, you can't just go and sit on your mother's couch if you if you end up without a job and without an income and so on. So I think that there are positives to that.
Yeah.
I certainly think that it would help broaden people's minds and give them a better understanding of other cultures, of other people.
Yeah.
We have all of these, I don't know, built-in prejudices about.
Yeah.
What do you think about what will happen if we?
I don't know. There's so many facets to it, because I feel like the only way that it would be a viable option or scenario is if it was brought into by everyone. And I mean, of all the countries in the world, you're never going to have buy-in from everyone. And then I also think there would need to be a governing body of some kind
To make sure that there's no governing body.
I don't know. I don't know, because how did it happen initially? Like how did these, I mean, often borders are rivers or mountains or things like that. So how did they like separate to the point where now we all have our own restrictions and laws? And I don't know, I just kind of think it would be so cool. I've thought a lot over the past few years about borderless, you know, being able to just go anywhere at any time. And
so are you a closet anarchist? Do you advocate anarchy?
No.
Do you
No, because that's the other thing, is I understand that, yeah, anarchy, it would be chaos, I suppose. I don't know.
I don't know. If you look at some of the people that advocate anarchy, they say it won't be. It's just that you don't have somebody prescribing to you what you should and shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Although I think at some level they all expect that we will adhere to certain basic rules.
Yeah.
So you can't get away from rules or laws.
Yeah.
There must be laws that govern people.
Yeah.
I don't think people are capable of...
Yeah, not self-aware enough to govern ourselves. Not all of us.
Yeah, I don't think anybody
Yeah.
is really capable of that.
Yeah.
So if you look at, I don't know, kind of the closest example, would it be fair to say if you go to the Kruger National Park, I mean, those animals, you know, there are no rules there.
Yeah. And they live in harmony.
Well, it depends on who you ask. There's very few animals, I think, that'll agree with that.
Yeah.
But do you just accept it?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's complicated. The thought and the notion of being free to travel anywhere,
Yeah.
that appeals to me.
But I also like the idea of being free to work anywhere, because I like the
Yeah.
idea that you could go for, I mean, even if it was restrictive in terms of the amount of time you could spend in other countries or whatever, but having the opportunity to go over and work and learn from different cultures. And
So which is why the concept of working remotely, you know, is so appealing to a lot of people. Is it allows you the opportunity. But then governments look at that and go, hey, wait, there's some tax money that we should be...
yeah.
So I think as if you can't get everyone to buy into that, it will be problematic.
Yeah.
And then even just going back to the European Union, you know, there's so many rules, so many laws that govern that, you know, and if you don't adhere to these, we'll kick you out.
Yeah.
If you don't pay, I don't know, taxes. I don't think they call it contributions, but then we can kick you out, you know. And then still everyone is kind of domiciled in a particular country.
Yeah.
Which we can always send you back there. So a lot of freedom there, and I think it works really well for people that can cross borders easily. I don't know what the work situation is like. I'm pretty sure that it is okay for you to work.
I think you can work anywhere.
Anywhere.
Yeah. If you have an EU passport, you can work in the EU.
Yeah. But to make that global, I think that would be a challenge.
Well, definitely. I mean, if you just look at some of the situations where people have been fighting over land and who's got claim to the land for how many years. I mean, if you were to open all those borders and just let it be a free-for-all, what's to stop that from carrying on? I think there would be just as much fighting over who owns the land. And
So what if everyone...
Is this a new what-if scenario?
Yeah, so this is a new what-if scenario. Maybe following on from what you just said. What if everyone in every single situation that we find ourselves in declared our intentions truthfully?
I think we've had this what if scenario on the podcast before. I'm sure after one of the Sam Harris things we spoke about, what if everyone told the truth?
Yeah, no, I remember we
Yes.
spoke about this.
Yeah.
But just in the context of what you
Yeah.
were talking about now, because I was thinking about, well, you know what, you do get people that move from country A to country B with not the purest of intentions. So that led me to kind of, what if everyone declared that? And I thought, well, not just in terms of when I'm moving to, what if in every situation that you find yourself in, whether it's at work, at home, social, whatever, if everyone declared their intentions truthfully, would the world be a better place?
Don't you know the saying is it from Jerry Maguire? You can handle the truth. I think that very few people can handle the truth.
I think very few people can speak the truth.
That's also true. And we've spoken about this before. It's very seldom about protecting the other person's feelings and more about protecting your own. But
yeah, I think, I mean, we always laugh at the question when you apply for a visa. They ask,
are you a terrorist?
Are you a terrorist?
Or have you ever been involved in any terrorist activity?
Correct. And we laugh at that because, you know what, that doesn't make sense to us. That doesn't make sense to us. And we also laugh at the fact that, well, if you are a terrorist and you are planning to go in another country to commit a terrorist act, would you really declare it on your visa? So I think from that perspective, if you can get people to declare their intentions, then it would make that other what if scenario of opening borders, saying we welcome you in and so on, but we want to know why you're here. What is it that you want to do here?
Yeah.
If you can get that.
But that relies on everyone being truthful, which we know they aren't.
But I kind of like the idea of declaring your intentions. I think in every situation, because do you think you go into every single situation with intentions, or do you just show up here in the morning, say, let's see what happens today? No, you come here with certain intention. But
it's not always necessarily clear what your intention is on that specific day. Like, you might have a long term, something that you're working towards, and going through the motions is getting you to that point, or... No, I don't think... let's not confuse the tasks or what you're going to do exactly today, but your intention in showing up here, I think, is pretty clear. Well, maybe not always. Maybe you're not feeling great in your intention and you say, oh, geez, I just hope I don't get asked to do too much today or whatever. We know things like that happen. But if you think of, not just in a work situation, if you think of so many other interactions that you have on a daily basis, if people declared their intentions. Something to think about.
I don't think it'll happen.
No.
But I do think it'll make things a hell of a lot more black and white.
Yeah. But nothing ever is black and white. There are so many shades of grey in between.
Explain that.
I don't know, I just don't think anything is black and white. I've spoken to you about this before, like good and bad, and you're either happy or you're sad, and you're either this or you're that. Like, I just think that those are extremes, and you're always on a spectrum. In all of those situations, I don't think we're ever 100% either way.
I'm not sure I understand. Are you talking from your perspective or from the individual's perspective? To think about good and bad, or happy and sad?
Yeah, so I think that I always think that there's a spectrum. I don't think that anyone is an extreme anything. I mean, there are extreme things. I don't know, it's so hard to explain. But I don't think anything is black and white.
I think that there are black and white things.
I don't
think
know.
there are
Maybe we need to
lots
be
of
more specific about examples, because maybe there are examples where it's very black and white.
Yeah, like, do you like broccoli?
I don't
You're
mind
black
it.
and so that's very personal, but I mean, there
Yeah.
are people who are very black and white
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
Do you like ice cream?
But don't you think the questions like that we were kind of referring to there is, are you a good person? Like,
No, not necessarily. I think that you can be a good person.
that does bad things.
Well,
But
every
that's
now
my point. That's my
every now
point.
and then you have a shitty day, or you
Yeah.
find yourself in a situation and your intention is just to get the maximum out of that interaction.
Yeah.
In maybe not, or to get away with the least effort.
Mm. Yeah.
That doesn't make you a bad person.
That doesn't make you a good person.
I think that there's obviously a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of scenarios we can think of and discuss there. I think it will be great if we. So here's another what if. What if we all had, I don't know, like little indicator lights on our foreheads or whatever that indicate whether you're happy or sad or good or bad. Or
Yeah. What if? I've always thought, because people have asked me before what superpower I would like to have, and I've always said I would like to be able to read people's thoughts. I always want to know what everyone is thinking, and everyone goes, oh no, you don't really want to know what they're thinking. But I do. I think it would be so nice to know what someone is honestly thinking. It might be terrifying and there might be some things you don't want to hear, but I would rather know the things I don't want to hear than not. I don't know.
Wow. What if we
could read each other's thoughts?
I think that would be very interesting.
Yeah.
I think, and maybe in a way is that definitely supersedes my what if we declared our intentions in every
But
situation.
Don't you think there'd be a lot of
that
lonely people? Because everyone takes offense at something, and maybe...
Oh boy, and do we take offense
Yeah.
at things?
So maybe I think, gosh, would this person just shut up right now? Or something like that. And what if you go, oh, well, she's a bitch. And then I take offense at you thinking I'm a bitch, and you take offense at me asking you to shut up.
I think it will be chaos for a while. But then wouldn't we get used to it?
Yeah. I like that idea.
I think it'll be a great superpower. As you say,
But do you want other people to hear your thoughts? Because I always say I can handle the truth. You can handle the truth. I think I can handle the truth, but I'm not sure that everyone can. It's an interesting thought.
It's a very interesting thought. So, and what made it especially interesting is when you turned it on me now and asked whether I would like people to know my thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Well, maybe not always.
Yeah. Maybe not all of them always.
Maybe not all of them always.
Yeah. But yeah, I still think it would be better, because then the onus is always on the individual to decide how they want to respond to something. So whether you're honest with them outwardly or they read your thoughts and you're honest with them, it's up to me to decide how I'm going to take that, and whether I feel it was a personal attack or...
So in the purest form, my emotions, my concern, and my problem.
Yeah.
So how I deal with that is
how
my
you
problem.
respond, yeah.
It is not.
Yeah.
It's not whatever somebody else has to say or how they behave.
Yeah.
But generally, we're terrible with that.
Yeah.
We are very much influenced by that. I'm still trying to think which of my thoughts I wouldn't want people to, because it's not like I go around wishing bad or terrible things or whatever on other people. I'm trying to think of scenarios where I would maybe
scenarios you're
not.
willing to admit to the camera.
Yeah, but I think like the example that you mentioned, maybe when you go, geez, can you just shut up, you know?
Yeah.
Or, but that would be really, really interesting if we can have that.
I think that maybe that's enough what ifs for the day. We've run out of time.
We've really, yeah.
And I have a lot to think about. And not tell anyone about. Because I don't have to. Cool. Thank you for watching, and we'll probably do this again soon with some more
send us
weird what if scenarios.
Let us know what if scenarios you think about.
Cool. Thank you. Cheers.